Hey guys, JV here. Excited you're with me as we are working on this How to Write a Book series, and I'm going to help you build that book. So I'm really excited about this series, and we've got a good one for you today because we're going to start talking about structure. So let's get into it. So my name's JV Glossinger. In case you don't know, if this is the first time you're watching this is video 3 in a series. I do YouTube videos almost every single day, and they're about energy, health, technology, all kinds of stuff. It's a variety channel, which makes it a little bit hard on YouTube, but hopefully you're getting value from this. And if you're into learning about different things and getting good energy, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and that alert bell so you know when I put up new videos, specifically like in this series. So let's get into this. We've been talking about how to write the book, and I've been giving you some ideas on what you need to write about. Now the next couple videos, we're going to start structuring this book. Now, it's a nonfiction book, okay? Nonfiction. We're not doing fiction yet. This is a nonfiction book. And if you're watching me for the first time, I've self-published, I've worked with a publisher, so I've had the whole gamut of this and really understand how to do this quickly and efficiently. So what I want you to think about right now is a structure of the book at 60,000 words. 60,000 words is going to give us that standard book like this, right? I just grabbed my Sacred Six book. This was published by Hay House. And it's just a good size, something you read in a couple settings, something that's good, somebody can digest, and something that's doable in time. If you follow Stephen King at all, Stephen King says, 1,000 words a day, well, then you're talking about 60 days. And really, if we look at structuring the book, we should look at maybe 120 days to be a little more realistic and give yourself some time to write. But we're going to get into that in another video. Right now, we're talking about the structure. So we want 60,000 words. So what is that 60,000 words going to be made up of? Well, what I want you to think about is 10 to 12 chapters, okay? So we're going to get into outlining big time. And one of my writing coaches, I'll get into a little bit more, Kelly Notaris, who's amazing, was my coach. She helped really structure my outlines and understand this even deeper. But we're going to want 10 to 12 chapters. Keep it simple, right? And within these chapters, we're going to want stories, okay? The whole key to a good nonfiction book is the stories that you tell. Now, I'm talking about the Sacred Six again. If you read this, this is a good template because this is exactly how I wrote this book. So once we have these stories, the critical thing is that we're going to build them out. So within the framework of this, 10 to 12 stories, we want those stories to be between 1,000 words and 3,000 words, okay? So if you're doing the math right now, we're getting ourselves in a good position because now the stories alone are between really about 15 to 20,000 and 30,000 words. So the objective today, after we've already did the kind of understanding and thinking about things to write about, whether it's your own personal stories or other stories you want to tell, I want you to think about finding a list of 10 to 12 stories, okay? So when I go to start writing a book, this is what I do. Even my fiction series that I'm working on, I'm looking for those 10 to 12 key stories. Now, we're going to get into the power of threes in the next video. We're going to start breaking down writing skills and all those other things to help you do this. But right now, I need you to start thinking about this step in video 3. What are my 10 to 12 stories? And I want you to keep it simple, okay? Right now, don't be trying to write the stories. Let's just get it in place, and you can leave in the comments, say, JB, I got 10 stories already. Or what do these stories need to be? Well, basically, as we get into this, I want you to do this. This is the big writing creed, okay? Show, don't tell, okay? And we'll get into that more in the next videos as we get into it. But you're going to show these stories. So meaning these stories need to be meaningful to you. They could be about you. They could be about somebody else. They could be about something with your dog, whatever it is. But we want to make these stories present. We want to make people feel like they're right with you or the person you're telling the story about. So if you're telling a story about Abraham Lincoln, you want to bring people right back to that story. And that's what show, don't tell means, is we want to work with that. So we want to start structuring an outline, okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to structure an outline, and it's going to start with 10 to 12 stories, okay? So eventually, the way it's going to look like this is it's going to be, we're going to have 60,000 words is our target. Okay? Then the key thing is we're going to be looking at an intro. Okay? Some way to intro into the story. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And maybe 11 and 12. And then we're going to come out of it with a conclusion. Okay? Each of these are going to be right around 6,000 words. Okay? If you do the math, it's going to put you at this place where you've got a nice book. Now, I'm going to talk about cover design, and we're going to get into everything, how to publish, what are the best ways, whether it's self-publish or whether it's just doing, your regular publishing. But right now, this is the start. So as you watch the progression of these series, I'm going to take you one step at a time, all right? So the initial step that we're doing right here is that I want you to find an intro, and you can even write this down. And then I want you to take a piece of paper and go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I just want you to start writing down stories, okay? Writing down stories. We don't even need the overall concept yet because the stories are the driver of it. I don't even need a title yet. What I need is what are the stories that you're going to tell in the nonfiction book. And then as we do this, I'm going to give you a little foreshadowing of the next video. Once we get the story, we take people into the story, right? Present. And then what I want to do is work out of that story some lessons. Okay? And those lessons, and I'm going to get into the power of 3, are going to be the other filler of the 5,000 to 1,000 words, depending on how big the story is. So you're going to see all this come together as we start building the book. We're building the book. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about any of that right now. Right now, we're trying to get a list of stories together so that we can start to framework the book up. And I'll tell you how to do that. And we start to structure it. So I don't need a title. I don't need what the book's about. I need 10 stories. Okay? So we need your intro. And then we need a conclusion. That comes later. And I don't even care the order. I don't even care the order right now. It doesn't matter what order these are in. We can just start with a blank piece of paper and you could just number it. Story 1. What is that, right? What is a story? And let's go into kind of how I would do this. So for me, like story 1, I would say, story 1, the leg brace story. Okay? So if you listen to my podcast or anything, I talk about when I was a substitute teacher and the doors opened up and I had the kids running and I was running the gym class and this kid came in with leg braces and all the kids were angry and he was looking at them. So that's the story, right? So I remember it as the leg brace story. The second thing then could be the Carlton Fisk story. So Carlton Fisk was an old baseball player who played for the White Sox. I went with a bunch of friends to see him autograph baseballs, and I didn't win a baseball. It drove me crazy. Okay, it was a horrible story. Going to the bathroom. Okay, this is a weird one, but this is a story of when I started my first podcast, I didn't know how to edit the videos. Edit the audio. And so people would listen to it, and in the background, you could hear a toilet flush. And so it's part of one of the things I talk about is that's a story, going to the bathroom. So that's a story. My fourth story could be, let's see, something else. I'm just thinking today, something about golf, three-putting, okay? So one of the things that I suggest to all authors and content creators that goes right along with building this book is to start an Excel document or a Word document and start a story list. Because people ask me, this is 501 videos. I've done 4,194 podcasts every single day. People ask me, how do I do it? I keep a story list. So I have a story list of stuff that happens constantly. Every day something happens. And I'm looking for those stories. What can I take or what can I use when I travel? And if I get something, I just throw it in there. You can use Evernote or whatever else. If you follow me a lot, you know I like Word documents, Google Documents, Google Sheets and Google Documents and Google Sheets because I can keep stuff there. But the story list, you just keep the story list. And what I typically do is I'll put a title to it. Like I said, what was my first one back here? The first story was the leg breast story. So I'll do another one. I'll do the Rich Smith story. So where'd that go? Let's see. There it is. I'll do the Rich Smith story. So Rich Smith was a good friend of mine. Grew up with him, went to high school. But as we were kids, he had a brother named Johnny. And Johnny and Rich would win everything. I mean, they would get the cereal boxes and they would always win the lottery. They won everything, right? So they were always lucky. So I would say then my description, and this could be a field on Google, on a sheet, was that it's the winning story. Always winning, luck, right? And I put a little description and then any notes that I have. So there's really 3 fields, and that way I'm always keeping stories that I can use for books, for videos, for podcasts, and specifically for speaking. So those of you that are speakers, this will help you. But we're really talking about books now. So you want to start a story list. And then when we come back to what we're doing here, is it should be pretty easy to get, 12 stories together and we start building a book around those stories, okay? So we're going to get into this every video. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of videos here because building a book, I mean, there's people out there that just say, oh, just write it in a weekend. Look, you're building a book. It takes time. Look, I do this, right? So this is what I do for a living. It's one of the things I do. And this will help you really get structured and organized. And if this is something you really, really are getting into, obviously go over to morningcoach.com and you can get one of our coaching groups to get more depth into this. But I'm going to give you a lot here. That's what I do, So your homework for this video, please leave comments below if this is helping you. We did video 1, so we talked about the writing the book and publishing it. We got into some things to think about. Now what I'm asking you to do is put 10 to 12 stories together. That's it. That's your homework, okay? 10 to 12 stories. Once you get that, we'll be coming to the next video outlining it, the power of 3. We're going to go all the way to publishing it. So I got a lot of videos coming, so make sure you hit that alert bell. Make sure you subscribe. And if you don't like my other videos, it's cool. Just recognize that we've got some really good stuff coming for you. All right? So 10 to 12 stories. And what is our target? We are building a book. We want 60,000 words. And we're going to do that together. It's going to be, I can't wait to see your book. This is going to be fun. Okay? So thanks for watching, guys. Thumbs up if you like this. Hey, you know what you can do to help me? Share it. If you know somebody's trying to write a book, they're not going to be able to get this anywhere else. I mean, most people charge a lot of money for these courses. I'm doing it to help you here, and I want to see some books being produced, okay? So share this with somebody if you know somebody that's out there that's trying to write a book, and I'm going to take it step by step. All right, go have a fantastic day. Until the next video, go do it, and thanks for watching. Get those stories together.